Hi, everybody. I don't know if we're quite live yet, but we'll talk anyways, just because you know how it goes. Welcome to the channel. My name is Keith, your host, man of letters, knowledge, information, and hopefully at the very least, a bit of entertainment. What's up? All right, I know. Let me actually go ahead and pull up. Oh, I forgot to put our jams on. Here we go. Hey, and microphone is working. Check, check, check. Yes, it is. Hello, what's up? We're live and direct. Kind of direct. We're live, not necessarily direct, but we're live. Let me pull up our handy dandy notebook. It's not what I wanted. This is what I wanted. I know I told you guys that. Oh, by the way, if you're watching this video and it's not the live, feel free to just scroll forward a little bit. Usually we start these lives about 5 minutes in. Do you guys know how this goes? All right. Modernization activity is now hidden. This includes messages that are held for review or removed by you or a moderator, and users who are put in timeout or got it. Consumer, hello, please don't read me. Shalom, Barbara. Caleb, what's up? Barbara Washington, yes, hello. Solar Logos, what's up? Shargeen, hello. I'm sorry, I know you guys. I know that I told you we were done with the Golden Bible, but I don't know if you caught it last time. Atlas deleted the first 6 chapters, so I gotta go back. I gotta go back and read the beginning of the Colburn Bible. I started I started the lives about halfway through. So I don't think it's stuff you've heard already, but we still have to go back. We still have to go back. It's a bummer. I redid chapter 1 and chapter 2 on my own and figured you guys would want, so I have 8. I need to do chapter 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I still have 8 chapters to do. Oh, bummer. I think they're pretty short, but at least these are the storytelling ones. These aren't the ones that are like, someone said it best on the channel. They said, I feel like the Colburn Bible are these epic odysseys and stories and mythologies. And then after that, it's just captain's logs. And we finished all the captain's logs at the end of book 4. So if you guys are still here, fret not. These chapters are full of excitement and storytelling and hopefully some good stuff. How are you guys doing? It's Monday. Sorry I took the week off. I got sick and then I had lots of music and we were killing it doing the thing. And so now we're back. Welcome. Welcome, 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 welcome. Ambiguous Figs, hello. I'm stoked you caught the live. Shargeen, Shalvit Israel, hello. So yeah, to answer your question, we need to finish the Colburn. I haven't touched this thing in a while. Let me check. We're gonna have to delete this track. So you guys know how it goes. This recording. Check. I'm reading it live, however, I'm recording it into my software, so when the dogs bark, or the planes fly over, or the friggin' Barrio lowriders come through with their hot rides, we will be taking a break and letting the noise pass, so that we don't pick any of that in our final product. You are behind the scenes this evening, and thanks for being here. Thank you guys for being here. It is much appreciated. Oh, also, if you hear this little clicky noise, it's a new technique that Altrusion Grace shared with us, and that is whenever I make a mistake, I click it so that it shows, the sine wave shows up inside my recording software. That way I don't have to listen to 10 hours of audiobook for mistakes. I just go to the click, fix the mistake, and move on. It is a brilliant technique. Thank you. I'm excited to have gotten past that part, and me too. Me too. check something real quick. As per usual, let me know if the music is coming through weird, or if it's too loud or too soft or something like that. Hold on, I'm checking a message. We had a TikTok video go somewhat viral, and we got a whole bunch of new followers. And so I told a bunch of them to come over to the live. So you guys might meet some of the TikTok squad, or you might not. We'll see what happens. I'm confused. Could you be more specific? You glitched at the end. All right. Okay. Let's see. Nag Hammadi, I'm stuck on it. I play this book once or twice a day. Any on the level of this book will listen many times. The Nag Hammadi. We'll do some Nag Hammadi stuff. I believe I've already pulled some texts from the Nag Hammadi on as independent. I think that's the Dead Sea Scrolls stuff, right? All the Gnostic stuff. I do have a couple of those videos out already. Thomas, Gospel of Thomas, Enoch, I think was in that. Isn't it Nag Hammadi, right? The book of or am I thinking of something else? What else was there? Mary Magdalene, and a couple others that I can't. The names are eluding me at the moment. The names are eluding me. But let me actually go get my homemade pop filter, and we will get started. Blessings to everyone. Pooh Kitten, hello. Oh, I'm thinking of something else. My bad. We're gonna get into the Nag Hammadi then. We'll slap that. Thank you for the plug. Let me send out the link. Everyone, spread the love. Where are we? One last plug, and let us begin. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the one, the only Man of Letters live readings. We're going back over the Colburn Bible because we deleted some of the texts. Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. But let me see, where is our bookmark? It is here. Nice. Let me pull up the page. Colburn Bible is great. It's a blend of Egyptian Coptic writings crossed with Druidic Celtic knowledge, surprisingly. And we're on book 4, which is the bronze book. And come on, let's see, skip ahead a little bit. Sacred registers, yada yada. Some friends become enemies, some enemies become friends. It's got some beautiful stories in it. It's a bit dated. You can tell the datedness of it. Here we go. The Book of the Sons of Fire, the 4th book of the bronze book. So we're on the Book of the Sons of Fire. And tonight we are continuing with chapter 1, 2, chapter tabula trace, tablet 3. I will do my absolute best to help catch a vibe with you guys too. All right, we're putting our acting shoes on, and we'll see how it goes. It's gonna go great though. It really is. Let me see. We're going to set off our vibe real nice and proper. Here it goes. You ready for it? Here it is. Here it is. I'm going to check the audio, make sure it sounds good for you guys, and then we will get cracking, all right? We'll get cracking. There it is. I hear it. Doesn't that Daduke flute just fucking... It just wraps around your head. It just grips you, you know? I love it. So much. Okay, you guys, here we go. Oh, I forgot. We got to get to my chapter. What did I say? We're on chapter 3? All right, these chapters are actually pretty short, so it might not take us very long. We're on chapter 3, the Brotherhood, so let's... Chapter 3, the Brotherhood. Brothers in belief, there are two roads through life, the road of good and the road of evil. They are not clearly defined roads and often run side by side, and sometimes they cross each other. Those who travel without a guide or in darkness often mistake one road for the other. We are those who have chosen to walk in light, a brotherhood of men who travel the road of good together in companionship. We are the companions on the great path of the true way, and when an instructing brother speaks of the great path, and when an instructing brother speaks of the great path of the true way, he speaks of a double path. The champions of the right hand are those who bear the burdens of earthly labor and advancement, for they require strength, dexterity, and steadiness. The companions of the left hand are those who bear the burdens of spiritual labor and enlightenment, things closer to the heart of man. The brotherhood is separated in two parts. There is an earthly brotherhood, and though it may be small in numbers and have few possessions, this will not always be so. There is also a heavenly brotherhood comprising certain of the twice-born and their followers who have gone before. Their task is to clear the netherworld of demons and dark spirits and prepare the way for those who follow. They are like men to instruct in earthly matters, and therefore leaves it to another. The caravan moves quicker when each man rides his own camel. In spiritual matters, the most important is that each man should awaken his own soul. A task far more difficult than it may appear, but for which earth is the dedicated instrument. The first objective to attain towards this end is self-taming. Just as a horse has to be broken in before it can be of any service, so has the mortal body of man to be tamed and brought under control. To do this requires not only self-discipline, but also the ability to rise above earthly conditions. No easy task, for the earth is a hard taskmaster and worthy adversary, and the mortal body of man an unruly steed. The duties, the obligations, and the restraints by which those who follow the great path of the true way direct their steps. the duties, the obligations, and the restraints by which those who follow the great path of the true way direct their steps are not imposed capriciously. They are, in fact, no more than the bare essentials covering the first steps. That is why everyone, before admittance to the brotherhood, must accept every obligation and decree covering our way of life. Everything sounding good still, you guys? I can't hear what you guys are hearing because my OBS isn't functioning properly, so the music in the background that you guys are hearing, I don't hear, unfortunately, which is really bumming me out because it just makes this process a whole lot harder. So if it starts getting loud, because I know the volume goes up and down, if it starts getting weird, just leave all caps in the comment box. And I guess that's it. Okay, now where did I leave off? Oh, great, did I just... Where did I leave off? Obligations, okay, pathway, direct steps. That is why everyone before admittance, yada yada, okay. We do not claim to know the only path. Undoubtedly, there are others, but we can claim to know the best. The top of the mountain may be reached by many paths, but the shortest one is always the hardest. Supreme personal spiritual experience is undoubtedly the best source for the foundation of true spiritual faith. It begins with the development of latent spiritual powers through meditation. When you are ready, seek out a place of solitude, a place that is away from the abodes of men, a place that is restful, is quiet. Take a skin and a little food and water, just sufficient for your needs. Now turn your thoughts inwards, harmonizing them with the rhythm of the body. Let your spirit seek harmony with the spirit flowing about it, so that the two become one. While at your meditations, neither overeat nor undereat, for there must be harmony in your eating and sleeping, in your relaxation and your activity. To become one who knows the joys of spiritual self-consciousness, to have a truth-revealing vision transcending anything knowable by the senses, to rise above the bondage of pain and sorrow, and to free the spirit from the shackles of the body at will, is something unattainable by spiritual meditation alone. Leading to this road is the path of moral self-discipline and courage. The creed that teaches spiritual things alone is as barren as one concerned only with earthly things. Your brother will not set forth in writing all things concerning the awakening of the spirit. They would be of no use until the moral foundation is laid. Such teachings must remain within the higher circle of those who travel the right-hand path and not disclosed to the uninitiated. Let the prayer upon your admission be always fresh in your memories. Great Supreme Creator, craftsman of earth and of the multiple spheres, grant that our brother may always remain loyal, that he will, day by day, become ever more worthy and so dedicate and devote his life to the service of mankind and the completion of its purpose, that he shall forever walk in the truth of light. Grant him the crown of wisdom, the garments of knowledge, and let him be shod with diligence. Grant him the strength to abide by our instruction and discipline, so that with these and by his own efforts he may awaken within him the true beauties of spirit. Add your strength to his weakness, that he may add your strength to his weakness, that he may overcome all selfish motives and unworthy desires. Help him in his self-taming, so that he may combat the tendency inherent in men towards anger, greed, self-pity. There's a plane flying overhead, hold on. Strengthen him, that he may overthrow the evils of tale-bearing, malice, of jealousy. Grant him the ability to see with the eye of understanding the defects and shortcomings of his brothers and to emulate their goodness. All right, that was chapter 3. That was pretty dope. That was pretty straightforward. Nice and tight. I like it. Chapter 4. I'll check your guys' comments now. Let's see. Hopefully nothing was going weird. All right, I'm not getting any messages about the music being too loud, so I'm assuming we're killing it. How you guys doing? Did you enjoy chapter 4? It's nice to see you. If you're just getting here, come on in. Welcome, welcome to the Den of Mysteries. To the abode of the Man of Letters. We are reading the Colburn Bible. Thank you guys for being here. I hope you are enjoying yourselves as much as I am. I always get in here and I start reading and I'm like, oh, this is such a vibe. I like it. It's almost like meditation in and of itself, kind of. It was sweet, wasn't it, Solar? It was wonderful. I actually really enjoyed that. Much better than those stupid captain logs we were reading for the past week, right? Okay. I lowered the music a little bit because I'm listening to it back on our YouTube channel, and it sounds a little loud on that section. So I lowered it a little bit, and we'll get cracking into the next section. Have a butterbeer? Oh, sea flower. Oh, can you pass me a mug of butterbeer, sea flower? 2, preferably. Can I get cinnamon on top of mine? Can I get a cinnamon sugar rim on mine, please? I would love that. I would love that so much. I really would. I really would. Okay, we're gonna continue with the next chapter, which is chapter 4. Chapter 4, Amos. Amos led the congregation and the people down from the mountains and brought them into the land of Heth. A good land was opened up before them. But Amos warned the people that they were like gems among pebbles. Therefore they were not to provoke the people who had accepted them because of their skill. Amos said, "We will build a city for ourselves and our children, and within it a temple for those who follow the light of the right-hand path. The temple will be like the pearl within an oyster, or the heart within the body. The congregation with Amos were the children of light, and the people were Kenim, who worshipped Yahweh, and Galbanim, who worshipped Eloah. But Amos taught the people to walk in the light of the truth, and said, 'To each of you his own God, but above any god which can be named is something that cannot be named, and you shall know it as the Supreme Spirit.' The Galbanim built the city and the temple, while the Kenim set up forges among the sons of Heth, and Amos went among them and saw that all was well. The number of those who followed the right-hand path and resided about the temple was 144, and it was never any more or any less. 144? So even in these texts, we're getting that 144, huh? Interesting. The number of those who labored in and about the city and dug the soil or attended to sheep and cattle was 2,435. The number of the Kenim who followed listened to his words. They were like men walking a circle in darkness, one behind the other, each having his hand on the shoulder of the man in front. Therefore, when the king of the sons of Heth came to buy what Kenim had made, Amos spoke to him about the way of light, and sometimes the king listened. When they came upon the priests of the sons of Heth, Amos said, What manner of men are those who prance about as though the ground were covered with hot cinders? Before their altars they are like drunkards who go about shouting and singing. They leap like horses kicking at the wind. What manner of spirit possessed them? Is it a spirit of light, or a people who listen to their words are as misguided as those who resort to a tomb at night and sit within a vault? If a spirit comes, it is a restless one whose words have little value, for they are hollow, empty things. Surely the gods of such as these are demons in disguise, whose powers are a myth, for they are unhearing and unseeing things. They are unfeeling idols clothed in garments of delusion, woven within the tormented thoughts of men. The king said, I have seen your own holy men as they sat beneath their trees, and they too acted in a manner strange to the eyes of ordinary men. Where's the difference? Amos said, Our holy men sit in quietude, at peace within themselves, and if their mortal eyes are unseeing, it is because their spirits roam freely as birds. There is a test whereby the difference can be made known, if you will agree to it. The king gave the sign of consent. Then a place of absolute darkness was prepared, a place to which light could in no manner be admitted. Into it went 2 priests of the sons of Heth and 2 of the holy ones from the congregation, the king and 2 attendants, and Amos. Then, while the king and his attendants watched, they saw the holy ones radiate a light that lit up the whole darkness, so that the faces of all became visible. The priests of the sons of Heth remained in darkness, for their spirits were feeble things without power. This is the test of true illumination, Because of this, the king looked even more favorably upon Amos and his people, but he did not change his ways or seek to walk in the light. For Amos refused to perform acts of magic before his court or to foretell the future, and the king believed there was an effortless way to accomplish all things. If the secret were known and could not understand that the secret was safeguarded behind the doors of austerity and self-discipline. There was a city called Migdol within the kingdom, and some of the Kenim labored there for the temple. When Amos came to the city, it was the festival of its great god, and no man labored, neither did the Kenim, for it was the day when their fires rested. When Amos sought the overseer of the Kenim, he could not find him, and none of his people would say where he had gone. But Amos found him at the temple of pleasure. By what means was the decision sought? The overseer said, By the even which only the god could control. Amos replied, You say this is beyond the control of men. It may be so. But there are men who are more than men even as this god whose smallness I will prove. Come, let us put this matter to the test. I don't know if you guys can hear me, but OBS said that it was disconnected for a second, so I wanted to take a pause because this is getting juicy, and I wanted to make sure you guys heard it. So I'm making sure the feed is still going. All right, the feed looks like it's good still. All right. It would appear that we're good, so I will continue. We shall continue. Great, I didn't mark my spot. Oh, okay, here we go. They're testing out each other's magic. That's where we were. All right. Amos then sent an attendant in haste to bring back a holy man of the congregation, who was with his caravan. When the holy man came, Amos showed When the holy man came, Amos showed the overseer and the priests that such things were not beyond the control of enlightened men. For the holy man could foretell the issue, whatever was done with the Eben. When Amos left the temple, he took with him a woman named Kedshot, whom he had won from the priests, and made her free. The degradation of women to serve the temples was common in the land of Heth, and Amos raised his voice against it. When next in the presence of the king, he said, "The common feelings of all men condemn fornication, and it is not allowed by your own laws. Yet if fornication is sanctified to your God, the priests permit it for their profit. Is it not true that this wickedness is now so common in the temples of Heth that the woman who seeks to sell the services of her body in the drinking booths can ask no more than a handful of a meal?" That was weird. "Yet, if fornication is sanctified to your God, the priests permit it for their profit. Is it not true that this wickedness is now so common in the temples of Heth that the woman who seeks to sell the services of her body in the which is of long standing and cannot be changed?" Amos replied, "Does the long standing of a custom make it good?" Amos said, "If your desire is to walk in the light of truth, you must choose between your form of worship and righteousness. You must choose between your gods of this land and truth. If a nation sow the wind, it must be prepared to reap the whirlwind, for no other crop can spring from such seed except through violation of laws which are never inconsistent." The king replied, "I have long been patient with you, stranger with the unbridled tongue. But do not overvex me." So Amos held his peace, for he had disregarded his own commands to his people. Yet the king heard the words of Amos and was kindly towards him. When the king came to Lethsan to buy the wares of the Kenim, Amos was there with them, and the king said to him, "The gods of Heth are many. Added to those other places, the gods must be beyond counting. Why are there so many, and which one is the most profitable to serve? The priests say each has power in its own place. Can this be so among gods?" And so Amos replied, "There is only one God, but each man views him from a different standpoint and in his own light. It is even so with lesser things of earth. How much more so with the greater things of heaven? A mountain rises up from a plain, and men see it from all sides, and to each it appears different. Some see it in daylight, and others in moonlight, some at dusk, others at dawn. It is never like to all men. Even so do men view God in different aspects. As no man knows the whole mountain but sees only a part, so men see God in part. And each man names the part he sees according to what he sees and according to his own understanding. Therefore, though it seems that the gods are numerous because of their names and their differences, each is no more than a part of the whole. There is, in truth, only one God, but what mortal man can see him in wholeness?" The king said, "If this be so, as well it may be. My eyesight is as good as yours, and I see just as far." Where Amos replied, "He who has ridden around the mountain and climbed to its summit knows it best." The city built by the children of light grew in strength, and the people prospered under Amos and forgot their trials in En-Shamis. When Amos led them into the land of Heth, he was still a young man, but as the people became many and strong, so he became heavy in years. The king who knew Amos died, and the young king did not look upon him. The king who knew Amos died, and the young king did not look upon him with favor, for Amos did not forbid the Kenim to go into other nations. All right, that's the end of chapter 4. 5, 6, 7. 5, 6, 7, 8. 4 more? And it gets kind of going by quick. What do you guys think? What was that? That was The first one was only 8 minutes. Only 8 minutes long, and that one was only 13 minutes long. It feels like I'm reading forever. That last one was only 13 minutes long. Boo Kitten, I'm glad you're loving the vibes and everything. Welcome everybody else who's tuning in. I'm stoked that you guys are here. Thanks for supporting the channel. I appreciate it. Thanks for liking the video and sharing the content, subscribing. Do you have anyone new in here? What's up? If anyone's new, hello, my name is Keith. Introduce yourselves. How are you guys doing? Come on in. Come on in. The water's fine. Fire from Thaumaturgy. I'm doing great, man. I hope you're doing well, too. The star seeds will illuminate and shift into celestial rainbow light bodies. Yo, are you sure, Solar Logos? Are you sure about that? I'm down. And I'm looking forward to it. But are you sure? If you guys want to support the channel, I'm drinking hummingbird sage. Oh, I don't have any more hummingbird sage. I'm sorry, we actually ran out. But we have sage, like we harvest our own sage from the mountains here in Mugwort, and I make these beautiful herb bundles for tea or for, I guess, whatever one else would do with such thing. But they're delicious and they're amazing and they're super good for you. And there's all kinds of benefits, etc., etc. You can find them on my Etsy shop. That's a good way of supporting the channel with getting something back for it. This is my Etsy shop, Etsy.com. Forgive me for my shameless plug right now. Fish gotta swim, birds gotta eat. You know what I mean? Man of Letters Co. That's my Etsy shop. And we make our own candles and stuff on there. Make our own candles, and we've where's my thing at? There it is. We got some. It's the Black Sage and California Mugwort bundles. Actually, I'll take you right to it. They're pretty dope. You guys at least check it out. At least give me some algorithm points. By clicking on the link, then Etsy will be like, oh, promote it more. You know what I mean? It's a social media like all the other ones. But yeah, that's it. Let's see what's up. Let's see how long the next chapter is. Oh, it's only 6:30. It's not. Damn. It's only been half an hour. It's wild. See, now we've got the laws of Amos, which might get kind of weird. It's always weird. The Colburn Bible has these chapters where it's like the laws of Amos, and all these dudes have their own. This chapter is extraordinarily long, by the way. Wow. The Tale of Hiram, that's a good one. Chapter 6 is a good one. And short. 7 is decent. So that we have a couple. We have 2 decently length chapters. The Laws of Amos is a long one. You guys ready for the next chapter? How goes it? How you guys doing out there? Shall we commence? +99. Yeah, one of our videos went viral, you guys, and we've thank you. And we're just currently blowing up on TikTok at the moment. Like actually blowing up on TikTok at the moment. It's pretty dope. It's got 93 followers in the past like 10 minutes on TikTok. You know what's so funny? This is a side note. I made a video on TikTok about hermetics, and I was eating a radish while I was doing it. And there is an it's uncanny the amount of people have been like, yo, I can't believe you're chewing in this video. Like, you need to remake this video. I can't concentrate. I take like 2 bites of a radish throughout the course of a 3-minute video, and people, and not, I mean, obviously it's just like, it's like 0.5% of the total viewers, but it's just like, isn't that strange? That's a strange world. Can you imagine that our ancestors were out there, like you read in this book, that our ancestors were out there like starving to death in the winter? Like winter would come and they'd be like, let's see who dies. And be like, hey man, they'd be like, hey, almost, my bad, bro, but I kind of forgot to put the grain inside the silo last night, and it rained. And he'd be like, oh, all right, well, it's like, oh fuck, you got the grain wet, whatever. Now you would think that, but back then it was like, I left the grain outside the silo last night, almost, and it got wet, and almost would probably have that guy's head chopped off because, literally, because if you get the grain wet, it molds. And if half your grain molds when it's being stored, and like you go to eat it and you can't because half of it's gone, then people start, they died. And that's when it's like, all right, well, Dave didn't make it this year. He was the oldest, so like we just didn't feed him because fucking Dave left the grains out in November like a goon, and that shit molded, and so we had to sacrifice Dave and his dog. Like, I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, it's fine. We threw him a big ass party, and like it was a big celebration. When he died, it like wasn't that big of a deal. When what's all said and done, he was hella old. But like that's what people were like. That's our hair. That's our lineage. Like that's how far human have come. But then people on my TikTok are like, they even I'm kind of trolling, but they even named whatever the name is for people who don't like the sound of chewing. They were like how could you, people with whatever this scientific term is, who have this scientific term thing, like, you need to remake the video because it's so distracting. I'm like, really, like, that's, I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like there's I mean, the video had captions. Like, they could have churned the audio off and read the captions and got all of the information in it. It was a 3-minute video on vibration and resonance, which is pretty straight. It wasn't like it wasn't like they had to sit through a lecture on rocket science while I ate a burrito. You know what I mean? Strange. This world is, oh man, it's worrisome at times. I'll choose. What's up, brother? Thanks, man. Thanks for stopping by. Everyone, check out Altrusion Grace Media. He's got some phenomenal content. If you guys are really enjoying these occult readings, Altrusion's got you covered. On the other hand, some people love the chewing. I guess maybe I should make it a mukbang. But I'm just complaining to complain. Don't mind me. We're gonna get on to the next chapter. Let's do this. I'm going to skip this Laws of Almost chapter because I'm not going to do that to you guys. I'll record that one on my own. It's incredibly droll and dry. So we will skip to the story of Hiram, which is really good. You guys are going to like this one. I remember this one from the last time we read it. We're skipping the Laws of Almost, and we're going straight to, let me see. No man shall permit a female slave to engage in fornication, and it is his duty to keep her modest and free from lewd. Or maybe this one might be interesting. I don't know. The tale of Hiram. All right, yeah, we're doing chapter 6, you guys. Let me. Whoops, that's. Oh man, that's not what I wanted to do. That's chapter. This is chapter 6. Finally got on Audible. You're on Audible, Altrusion? Like, your recordings are on Audible? I was looking into that, but I'm not. Yeah, it's only my last couple releases have been up to ACX standards. All the other stuff is certainly not up to ACX standards, but I will 100% get on Audible from here on out, because the last Emerald Tablets one. What's going on? It's not working. Can you guys do me a favor? Type in the comment section if the feed's still going. Oh, no, it's good. We're back. All right, here we go. We are live and direct. 3, 2. Chapter 6. The Tale of Hiram. Thut, the son of Pelath, a freeman of Elanmora in the land of Hethlem, wrote these things in the harvest years of his life. When his heart was filled with wisdom and understanding. He who reads them with the eyes alone will derive little benefit, but he who receives them with an enlightened and uplifted heart will find a response within the depths of his own spirit. While Hiram Uribas, son of Hashem, was still a beardless youth taking his pleasure among the riches and splendor of his father's house, a wise man came from a faraway land. He came not as a great man riding with a rich caravan, but weary-footed, begging water and food. These were not denied him, and while he sat in the shade, slaking his thirst and satisfying his hunger, Hiram, the youth, came up to him with courteous greetings. The wise man was pleased and poured out words like jewels, so the young man became filled with the desire for wisdom and truth, swearing that from that day forward he would devote his life to the search for them. After the departure of the wise man, Hiram became restless under his father's roof, and it was not long before he set off with a bundle of food and skin of water for Uruslim. Arriving there, he slept in the house of Gabel, a servant at the temple of the winged god of fire, and from thence he journeyed towards Beth Shemesh, which lies past Tir Galud, on the road to Egypt. Hiram was a young man of his people, tall of stature, with a darting, bright-eyed glance. His long, bound hair hung low on his shoulders, and his stride was wide and firm. He came upon Beth Shemesh close to nightfall, when it was not good to enter the city, and therefore, as darkness closed about him, he prepared to lay himself down beneath the wall of a vineyard. This was owned by a wealthy widow who, seeing the young man preparing for the night, sent men out to bring him into her guest house. The widow was neither old nor unbeautiful, and when she saw the comeliness of the young man, her heart was gladdened, and she became The widow was neither old nor unbeautiful, and when she saw the comeliness of the young man, her heart was gladdened, and she bade him welcome. Hiram did not depart with the light of the morning, and it came to pass that the widow offered him a high place on her estates. Hiram accepted, for he was young and pleased with the honor. But in the course of time the widow had become enamored with him and sought to make him her husband. Hiram sought a way of release from this, for he had already heard tales of the woman's many lovers. The widow said to Hiram, "Be my husband, for the one I had has died and left no heir. Let us enjoy the fruits of your manhood, for I desire the seed of your body, so that I may have a splendid son. I will give you the robes of blue and gray, and they will be I will give you the robes of blue and red, and they will be laced with chains of gold. You shall ride in a high chariot wheeled with the brass and wations." He answered the widow hastily in these words, "You are a woman of beauty, and this alone makes you a desirable treasure to men. But how would it fare with me in marriage? It is said that you have had many lovers, and they find you as a smoldering fire in a cold room, a door restraining neither wind nor sand, a roof that falls in upon the sleeper beneath it, a boat that drowns the boatman, the crust over a quicksand, water that does not slake the thirst, and food that sits heavily on the stomach. Which man did you ever love with constancy? Which man did you ever love with constancy, so that he walked in the joy of contentment? Which man could ever call you his? Ouch. He could have just been like, nah, I'm good. It was just like, you're a whore. You fucking suck. Oh man, poor thing. Let's see what happens next. The words from his mouth stung the widow like hornets, and she flew into a rage after the manner of women. She called upon her servants, and they beat Hiram with sticks and drove him off her estate. Serves him right. With a little more wisdom in his heart, he continued on his way into Egypt, and after many days he arrived at the city of On. Hiram dwelt among the southern men on the outskirts of the city, for many had been captured during the wars and made slaves. When lustfully aroused, the bodies of these men exude a sweet odor like honey, which no man can detect, and it makes all women succumb to them. This is the manner in which the nation of Egypt sacrificed its purity. In the days when Hiram came to Egypt, the Pharaoh Ahmose ruled. In those days Egypt was at war with the Abramites, for their great red-headed king had committed adultery with the wife of a prince of Paran. The remorseful king reaped as he had sown, for his favorite daughter was ravished by her own brother, and his wives were humiliated and ravished before the eyes of all men. Because of the war, there was much coming and going of strangers in the city of On, and Hiram went unnoticed. Hiram dwelt long in Egypt and absorbed its wisdom. But the thing which delighted his heart the most was the tale of its long hidden treasures. He learnt about the nest-burning bird, whose wondrous many-hued egg granted men the gift of eternal life. He heard about the serpent pearls and the bright jewels which glowed with the lights of the sun even on the darkest night. All these things he desired to possess for himself. All right, let me double check something here real fast. This is good. That's good. All right. And we're good. Actually, where the hell did I leave off at? The nesting place of the nest-burning bird was among the moth-benim, eastward of Egypt. But among the Oh, that's the only bark we've had this whole 40 minutes of recording. Nice, that's good. That's good. We'll let him finish. Doing his thing. Can still hear him. He's just got that throat guttural going, like he's still not completely done being angry. So we'll let him ride it out. I think he's done. The nesting place of the nest-burning bird was among the moth-benim eastward of Egypt. But among the treasures of Egypt was one of its eggs. The egg, the pearls, and the jewels were safeguarded in a dark cave upon an island called In Mishpet, which was set in the middle of a lake called Sidana. In the waters of the lake were fearsome water monsters, part beast, part fish. On the shores of the lake dwelt the shape-shifting priests, guardians of the treasures. Northward of the lake was a broad pasture land where the shepherd Naaman tended the temple of flocks. But Northward of the lake was a broad pasture land where the shepherd Naaman tended the temple flocks. But Naaman was old and had no son who followed him. Therefore, he took Hiram into his household, and Hiram became as a son to him, tending the sheep of the temple, and no Egyptian was with him. One day, while the sheep still suckled their lambs, Hiram was out in the pastures, sitting near the cool waters because of the heat. As he reclined in the shade, he played gay shepherd tunes on his flute, and in the many times he had... hold on. Sometimes I say things that sounds like "Hey Siri," and my laptop shuts off the audio input and starts listening to what I'm saying. It's super annoying. Nest burning bird. Phoenix, I guess, right? It's like, what the hell? Who knows? As he reclined in the shade, he played a gay... What? As he reclined in the shade. That's what's triggering Siri? As he reclined in the shade, he played gay shepherd tunes on his flute, and in the many times he had been there, no one had ever disturbed him. Yet not far away was the house of the virgins of Elri, but the maidens who dwelt there were rarely... I can't run out of steam, sorry. Yet not far away was the house of the virgins of... Hold on, I need to drink some water. Slow it down. Deep breaths. All right. Yet not far away was the house of the virgins of Elra, but the maidens who dwelt there rarely went abroad. This day, however, Asu, daughter of the high priest, walked abroad, and hearing the melody of the flute, drew near to listen. But Hiram did not see her because of the bush between them. The maiden sat down, taking the sandals off her feet. Hearing a cry from one of the sheep in the distance, Hiram stopped playing and stood up, his back towards the maiden. She, seeing him stand up, sought to creep away before he saw her, but as she did so, her foot was pierced by a thorn, and she let out a cry of pain. Hiram turned, and seeing her distress, hastened to help her. He withdrew the thorn tenderly and carried her down to the pool, so that she could bathe the foot in cool waters. While she did so, he entertained her with sweet melodies on his flute. Yeah, I bet you did. I bet you entertained her with your sweet flute music playing. Yeah, you little rascal. You little rascal. The maiden fell in love with Hiram, and he with her. But because she was a dedicated virgin and daughter of the high priest, neither could open the doors of their heart. The maiden spent nights weeping, for she had a love for which there was no remedy. Hiram took his flock to other pastures, but still their hearts drew them back to the place of meeting, and they met again and yet again. Now, the wife of Naaman noticed that Hiram pined as with a sickness, and she spoke to him about it. And he told her of Asu, the maiden from the house of the virgins of Elra. The wife of Naaman spoke words of consolation, but this hopeless love, knowing they helped but little. In the fullness of the year, Hiram took his flock to distant pastures around the other side of the lake. While he was away, the wife of Naaman took herself down to the place where he was wont to meet Asu, and one day Asu came. She was known to the wife of Naaman, who was the gatherer of herbs for the temple. They spoke of many things, of Hiram and of the gods, of priests and their ways and temples and those who served in them, of life and of man and of woman. Now, when Hiram returned, it was nigh the feast of sheep slaying, and at this time sacrifices of lambs were made to the water monsters in the lake. While away, Hiram had thought about Asu and about the treasure of Egypt, both seemingly equally unattainable. the wife of. Yet on the eve of the feast of sheep slaying, the lake boats were prepared for the annual pilgrimage to the island. Among these were the great boat of Irab, kept in memory of the day when the scorcher of heaven rose with the sun and earth was overwhelmed. From this boat the sacrificial lambs were offered to the water monsters, and on it served Asu and 8 virgins. There, too, the high priest officiated. We're almost there. Almost there. Hiram had conceived a plan within his mind whereby, at the risk of his life, he might possess himself of the treasures of Egypt. This year, Naaman being destruction through fiery hail by making a 3rd round. The hell does that mean? This dude saved the earth from destruction through from fiery hail by making a 3rd round? What's a 3rd round? Fiery hail? Asteroids? Are we talking one of the deluges here? On the night before the festival, Hiram slept with a small flock beside the boats, and at first light they were put aboard. As the sun rose upon, the high priest came with many. As the sun rose upon. Sometimes the translations aren't very good on this book. I'm like, what? And the virgins came also. They offered sacrifices at the temple of departure and then set out upon the waters. In another boat were Naaman and his wife, and there were other boats filled with people. After making offerings upon the waters, the boats arrived at the island, and preparations were made for the island ceremony, which lasted throughout the night. The lambs were offered as darkness came, and the waters became red with blood, and the water monsters satiated with meat. Now, the cave on the island was protected from men by the spirit of Mot, who had died there in days long forgotten, and the priests guarded its entrance. But Hiram did not fear the spirit of Mot, for it could do no harm to one who carried upon his body the same blood scars Mot had borne. Hiram, the stranger, had been so marked out from the other men in his childhood. At the 6th hour of the night, 3 virgins entered the cave to bring forth the treasures, and with them went a priest protected by sanctification in the blood of a lamb. 5 priests who were guardians of the treasures and never left the island also went into the cave with them, garbed in skins and masked with the heads of beasts. The treasures were brought forth and placed upon the altar against the rock wall beside the cave, so that all night treasures were brought forth and placed so that all might behold them. Over the altar was laid a cloth of linen and gold. While the people passed before the treasures and danced and sang, priests came and went into the cave. Before the cave and away from the road leading down to the lake, there was a pathway which went down to the pool of purification. Here, let me walk with you a little, for I too suffer, and yet must seek herbs which are needed and not easy to find. When they had gone some distance, she said, I go this way. Will you not accompany me and humor an old woman who may need your aid? Hiram did so, for the woman was ever as his own mother, though he could not understand her strange manner. She brought him to a place in a hollow enclosed by thickets, and lo, there was Asu. When the embraces and the greetings were over and the explanations given, the wife of Naaman said, Here you cannot remain. There are clothes and food, and no pursuers will follow the maiden, and none will query your departure. Go this night, taking thought for nothing here, for you are young with a lifetime of joy before you, after the pangs of parting have passed. Sorry, y'all, I'm freaking getting tongue-tied and twisted, and let me just take a quick breather Take some tea. We're drinking tea. What are you guys drinking? You guys have water? Hopefully you guys have water. Normally do some yoga and stretches every half hour or so of reading, but the live kind of throws us off, so bear with me. Ninja priests. That's a good one. Alright. Hiram said, "No gladness, no joy can ever surpass what I now feel. Yet this thing increases a burden already upon me and is less simple than it appears. For this you must know I have taken the treasures of Egypt and hidden them in a place where no man can find them. Who would suspect me if I went about my task without change, a shepherd with no thought beyond his sheep and flute? The cry may be raised even now, though I think another day will pass first. Then who could trace the passage of every man who has departed, even though pursuit is made in all directions? Why did you not tell me of your plot?" The wife of Naaman said, "How could you be told of something which might not have been, or which you might have betrayed by glance or bearing? We too thought you no more than a simple shepherd with no thought beyond flute playing, except love. What now will you flee with the maiden and What now will you flee with the maiden and abandon the treasures? Or shall she flee alone, for she is committed to flight?" Hiram said, "I cannot abandon love for treasure, but neither can I abandon this treasure for life or let it corrupt. Therefore let Asu the maiden disguise herself, and together we will depart to a safe place without the treasure, none suspecting she still lives. Then in the fullness of time I will return, however I will not depart in haste, but wait and bid Naaman farewell and go in the fullness of time." Hiram left Asu and returned with the wife of Naaman. Coming, told him he had a vision such as no man could disregard, and must go to the land of his fathers, but would return before the coming again of the season. That night, a great cry went up among the temples, and in the lights of the morning men came and questioned Naaman and those with him, but found them simple shepherds. Hiram departed, taking the ass of Naaman, and with him went the wife of Naaman. They were joined by Asu, cloaked as a beggar girl who earned her food by ungainly dancing, whose face was unwashed and clothes unclean. They accompanied men who hunted for the stolen treasures, and their possessions were opened before the eyes of all men. After 7 days, the wife of Naaman returned. It sucks. She stole, and instead of having like this happily ever after, was to dance unseemly for men for money as a dirty beggar. So she was a stripper, more or less. A dirty stripper, nonetheless, that had to beg for money and food. Plot twist, huh? Hiram and Asu went onwards until they came to Bethlehem near Phenis, beyond the borders of Egypt, and they dwelt there among the Cherubim. In the fullness of time, Egypt and recovered the treasures, bringing them inside skins hidden with other skins filled with water and oil. Now, when Hiram had left Egypt and drawn nigh to Bethlehem, he saw that the dwelling he had left no longer stood, and the fields about it were overgrown with burning bushes. Alright, so burning bushes must be a type of bush, because it's the second time burning bushes have come up. It's also in the story of Moses, which is also in Egypt. So I'm starting to be curious here. What is the translation of burning bushes? Because here we're clearly, the bushes. Anyhow. Within the burnt-out ruins he found remains and bones, and knew them for those of Asu and Cherubim, of whom she dwelt. Damn dogs. We're almost done, too. Almost done. We're waiting for the dogs to finish barking. Thank you for your patience. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Alright, I think he's done. Within the burnt-out ruins, he found remains and bones and knew for those of Asu and Seraphim with whom she dwelt. He saw that they had died by the sword. Hiram did not linger at the place of death and thought to take himself to a place of safety. But knowing the dangers of the land, he sought a place where he hid the egg of the nest-burning bird and the pearls, all except two, and having secured them in safety, he went on his poetic fancy. Therefore, it is rendered in outline and reduced to a few paragraphs. That chapter was stupid long, Jesus. Wow! Alright, that's all we're doing for tonight. I've been reading for like almost 2 hours now. Need some... How you guys doing? My eyeballs hurt. Might have to get glasses for this. Solar, Barbara, Caleb, Julie. Hello, Julie. Julie McHales. I used to have a good buddy's last name was McHales. Or Kales, actually, I take that back. Almost. We made it to the end. We made it to the end. I'm so bummed I had to record all these other chapters in the beginning over again. I'm ready to get to the next book so bad. Thank you guys for hanging out with me and keeping me company while we finished it up. We're breaking something phenomenally interesting for the next book. I don't care how many versions online there are of it. It's going to be a good one. I promise. It'll be... Next one's going to be a banger. How many of you are out there still? I'm going back to check out chapter 4 again. Yeah, the last one was pretty good. So this one was longer. I might just finish these all on my own and not on a live. Unless you guys want me to go live again. I'm not sure if you guys are tired of the Colburn yet, but I definitely need to just slap this book and be done with it. Chapter 7 is... God, chapter 7's long too. No, it's not. I take that back. Chapter 7's short. Chapter 8 is short too. So the next two chapters are... It's another half hour, 40 minutes of reading for the next two, it would seem. Q Reeves is live with quantum regression therapy with Q Reeves. All right, squad. Solar Logos, thanks for being here. Stoked you guys made it to the end. Let's just go ahead and give one of these real quick. Hit the low fire with a little spada bing, spada boom. Thank you for your company. Thanks for hanging out. We're chipping away. Definitely looking for more tips or more plugs on books. So Nag Hammadi, maybe we'll do the Nag Hammadi. Whoever suggested that, find me some good ones, and we'll get cracking right into it. The hiccups. You're welcome, Extinguishing Fishy. When will you put it all together? How long will the whole read be? No till next, as long as YouTube sends alerts on time. So my lives are Mondays at 6. I'll go live in between there, but my Mondays at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time is my normal live time. And the readings have been great, so I like those. We'll probably keep doing that content. And yeah, but how long will the whole thing be? I don't know. Let's see. That last one was half an hour, but looks like it will be closer to 25 minutes when it's done. So let's see. We have 10, 30, 40, 45. No, I'm sorry. Hold on. Let's see. 10, 30, 45. 2, 80, 85, 95, 105, 115, 130, 140, 150, 60, 63, 73, 71, 80, 90, 205, 210, 210 minutes. How much is 210 minutes roughly? Give or take like 15, 20 minutes. 210 minutes. That's 60, 120. So 3 hours, or maybe 3.5 hours or so when this one's all said and done. When I'm done editing it. The edits should be, thanks to my handy dandy clicker, the edits of that whole audiobook should take me, I don't know, an afternoon. It shouldn't be very long to edit this. But, cool. But I got the day off tomorrow, so I might go live tomorrow during the day just to say what up. Not to read anything, but just to maybe we'll do some cards, some tarot, keep it fresh. Thanks for hanging out.